coming to you from the Lydia Media Studios in the heart of Lewiston, Auburn.
It's Lydia's Lunch Bunch.
LA's afternoon morning show with Mark flying solo today. We're covering news and events in the greater LA area and talking to the people making a difference in our community. Feel free to share your comments, questions, or suggestions via email at podcast@lydiamediallc.com. Today's show is brought to you by Ruper's Beverage and Redemption. When it comes to beer, wine, and spirits, don't botch it, squatch it. At 4 locations in Lewiston, Auburn, and Oxford. Learn more at rupersbeverage.com. And remember, the party starts at Ruper's. Yep, flying solo today as at the time of this recording, we are just over 24 hours away from the inaugural Wishes in the Valley event happening at Lost Valley to benefit Make-A-Wish Maine. So that will be our focus today, and we have a special treat for you at the end of the episode, as you will hear some recordings from some Wish kids who benefited from Make-A-Wish Maine. So be sure to stay tuned for that. Right now, let's take a look at some headlines for Friday, August 8th. The Sun-Journal reports that Lewiston Police Chief David St. Pierre announced he will step down at the beginning of September. St. Pierre has been with LPD for 33 years, starting as a patrol officer in 1992 before becoming chief in 2021. City leaders praised his handling of the mass shootings in October of 2023, his connection to the community, and his efforts that led to the development of a new state-of-the-art police station. No reason was given for his departure. The city of Auburn announced that a stretch of the Androscoggin River between the Lewiston Falls Dam and the Deer Rips Dam will be lowered by 2 feet to support the installation of a water line. The lowering will take place this Sunday and will be maintained through Friday afternoon, August 15th. The public boat launch at the North River Road will be unusable during this time. And Maine Attorney General Aaron Fry launched Operation Robocall Roundup, a multi-state effort by the Anti-Robocall Litigation Task Force aimed at cracking down on robocalls nationwide. Fry and 50 bipartisan attorneys general are sending warning letters to 37 voice providers demanding that they take immediate action to stop illegal robocalls being routed through their networks. Now it's time for the weather, and it is kind of the best this weekend, so let's hear from Alex.
Weather, weather, weather. Weather, 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 weather. Weather, weather is the best. Is the best. Weather, weather, weather.
Cloudy today with a high of 81 and a low of 58. Blue skies and sunshine in store for Wishes in the Valley Saturday with a high of 82 and a low of 59, and mostly sunny on Sunday with highs in the mid-80s. It doesn't get much better than that for summer in Maine. In sports, the Red Sox visit the San Diego Padres tonight at 9:30. Walker Buehler gets the start for Boston. And the Patriots take on the Washington Commanders in a preseason matchup tonight at 7:30 in Foxborough. That's your news, weather, and sports. And right now it's time for Famous People Birthdays.
They're famous. It's their birthdays. It's famous people birthdays. It's famous people birthdays.
Let's take a look at FPBs for August the 8th, shall we?
Sure, Mark, let's do it.
Hey, sometimes you got to improvise when you're by yourself, right? Singer Drew Lachey of 98 Degrees is 49 years old today. He is also the winner of Season 2 of Dancing with the Stars and the younger brother of Nick Lachey, who I believe wasn't he married to Jessica Simpson? Yeah, let's go with it. Guitarist The Edge of U2 is 64 years old today. He is widely regarded as one of the greatest guitarists of all time. He's won 22 Grammy Awards with U2 and was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Actor Donnie Most is 72 years old today. You might know him as Ralph Malph from the TV series Happy Days. I'm not sure what he's done since then, but hey, once you've become Ralph Malph, it's all downhill from there. Actor Larry Wilcox is 78 years old today. He played John on the TV series Chips, opposite Eric Estrada, who played Punch. And rounding out FPBs for August the 8th is actor Dustin Hoffman, 88 years old today. Among his numerous accolades are 2 Academy Awards, 4 BAFTA Awards, 5 Golden Globes, 2 Primetime Emmys, and a nomination for a Tony. He was nominated for an Oscar for his performance in The Graduate in 1967. He was also in Midnight Cowboy and Lenny, his famous portrayal of comedian Lenny Bruce in 1974. He was Tootsie. He was also in Rain Man. And let's see here, Kramer versus Kramer, right? That was a big one. He famously played Captain Hook in the movie Hook in 1991. He was also in Meet the Fockers, Little Fockers, and let's not forget Baby Fockers, Electric Boogaloo. Those are your FPBs for August the 8th. Now it's time for some OTDs. It happened on this day. It happened on this day. It happened on this day. I mean, somebody get that guy a recording contract. 17 years ago on this day in 2008, the Summer Olympic Games began in Beijing, China. And just in case you're wondering when the next Olympics are, well, they're coming up in the winter of 2026 in Italy. So they're just mere months away. And the next Summer Olympics is going to be right here in the good old US of A in Los Angeles in 2028. 21 years ago on this day in 2004, Fay Wray, star of the original King Kong, passed away at the age of 96. 33 years ago on this day in 1992, the U.S. men's basketball dream team was assembled. It included Michael Jordan, Charles Barkley, Magic Johnson, and Larry Bird. And to no one's surprise, they won the gold at the Barcelona Summer Olympics. Also 33 years ago, on this day in 1992, Metallica singer James Hetfield was badly burned by a pyro explosion at a Montreal concert, and at the same show, Axl Rose claimed he lost his voice and cut a Guns N' Roses set short. Well, fans, they didn't care for that, and they rioted, causing $300,000 in damage. 37 years ago on this day in 1988, NWA released their debut album, Straight Outta Compton. 39 years ago on this day in 1986, David Crosby of Crosby, Stills and Nash, and also of Crosby, Stills, Nash and Young, was released from prison after serving 8 months for drug and weapons possession. 45 years ago on this day in 1980, the Olivia Newton-John movie Xanadu was released. It was her first movie after Grease and a certified box office disaster. 51 years ago on this day in 1974, President Nixon announced he would resign following new damaging revelations in the Watergate scandal. Remember that back in the day, 5 decades ago, when it only took one scandal to bring down a president? Those were the days. And finally, 56 years ago on this day in 1969, the Beatles did the photo shoot for the cover of their Abbey Road album, featuring all 4 members of the band crossing the street. Do you remember which one was barefoot? Well, I'm only going to give you 3 hints. It wasn't George, it wasn't Ringo, and it wasn't John. That's it. That's all you get. Those are your FPBs and OTDs for August the 8th.
Whether you want a sit-down meal or a grab-and-go, Pat's Pizza in Auburn offers delicious sandwiches, pasta, salads, and pizza at family-friendly prices. Pat's Pizza, serving the LA area since 1985. Open daily from 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. at 85 Center Street in Auburn. Online at patsauburn.com.
As mentioned at the top of the show, tomorrow is the inaugural Wishes in the Valley event at Lost Valley in Auburn to benefit Make-A-Wish Maine. The event is a continuation of the legacy the late Jimbo Marston created with the annual summer block party. Jim's successor, Pam Ashby, joined forces with Larry Roy, Dave Bishop, Mike Matthew, John Herrick of Lost Valley, and many others, including a list of sponsors and donors who we cannot thank enough. We had the crew join us on the podcast on numerous occasions to talk about the event and why they've dedicated countless hours to ensure its success. And it all happens tomorrow. We're going to gather at Lost Valley for a day of fun while sharing smiles, stories, tears, and hope. We'll enjoy each other's company, live music, great food and beverages, and all for the common goal of putting a smile on the face of a child and a family that have walked a path that no one should walk alone. I visited the Make-A-Wish Maine website, and I would encourage you to do the same if you'd like to learn about the great work that they're doing and why Wishes in the Valley exists. The Our Stories section features stories of Wish kids and their families and communities coming together to provide reassurance, hope, and ultimately, a wish. As we head into Wishes in the Valley, I thought it would be fitting to share some of those stories with you. You'll hear about Preston, who was diagnosed with a brain tumor and wished to go to Hawaii to see some sea turtles. Abby has leukemia and wished for a garden tea party and a she shed. Ian's bone cancer claimed his leg, but that was the last thing on his mind when his wish was granted and he visited the wizarding world of Harry Potter. And Morgan, who was diagnosed with 2 brain tumors, wished for a treehouse. And more importantly, when she grows up, she wants to work in healthcare and assist kids sharing a similar experience. We hope you enjoy these stories, and we hope to see you tomorrow for Wishes in the Valley, Saturday, August 9th at Lost Valley in Auburn. The fun begins at 3 p.m. It's free admission with plenty of hugs and smiles to go around. Thanks for listening.
He is very genteel, kind, genuine. I don't think has ever said a mean word about anybody. He kind of personifies kindness. And when he steps onto a stage, you cannot help but watch him. He just is magnanimous and magnetic in his personality.
Whenever I start dancing, it just makes me feel alive. Just makes me feel good, energized, and just happy.
The days leading up to Preston's diagnosis were tricky because they were worrisome, and yet I could tell something was bothering him. And I asked him, what's wrong? What's going on? And he said, I don't know, what if it's a brain tumor? And of course, any mother, when they hear their child say that, you think, oh, honey, you're just, that's crazy. There's no way that could possibly be a brain tumor. I think you're just worried. And it was Wednesday night, 2 days after we had gone to the doctor's office, that he went to bed and apparently did not sleep all night. He could not get comfortable, and he came in, I could tell something was wrong. He said he had thrown up and that the pain had been so severe, so I said, just get in the car, we're going to the emergency room. That was when we discovered that it was definitely more than just headaches, and that his prescient idea of possibly having a brain tumor was indeed validated. I remember my heart sort of just stopping. I took a moment, took a deep breath, and just looked at the doctor and said, what's next? So the treatments started after the craniotomy. About 6 weeks after he healed, he went in for 6 weeks of radiation, and at the same time was on a daily dose of Temodar, or temozolomide, to pair together. So those actually he handled really well. He lost some of his hairs, but he had a really cool haircut. It was kind of like just on the top of his head, so the back of his was bald. I guess the idea of just the fact that my son had a brain tumor and was still considered a minor, I was like, geez, I wonder, this seems like something that would be qualify as a, I don't know, something that would be wish-worthy for a Make-A-Wish. Being able to use your imagination, like what would be the thing that you'd want to do if the sky's the limit?
Growing up, my favorite Disney movie was Lilo and Stitch, so I've always wanted to go to Hawaii for my entire life, see a sea turtle, and just, yeah.
Of course, we are all busy getting all our last-minute packing done, and just about, I don't know, maybe 30 minutes before I knew the limo was supposed to arrive, started seeing a lot of police cars sort of circling around outside our house. And that's when, Steve came back and he's like, hey, Preston, I want you to come out. There's some people here who want to meet you.
When my dad told me to come out and we started walking down and he told me what was happening, I was like, oh, that's that's really awesome. and it really was. It was super, super awesome.
My favorite moments were just being at the beach and watching my kids play together. They were just kids and enjoying life with the sunset behind them and not a care in the world.
On our last day, I got to see a sea turtle. It was hanging out on the beach, and then we were hanging out there, and we got to see another one come up onto shore while we were sitting there, so that was really awesome.
The Wishmakers are like the lifeline that has been thrown out to you. And you just know that there's hundreds of people pulling on that lifeline and keeping you afloat. Because that's how I felt. I felt like we were being held up.
I really felt free on that trip, and I just felt like I could do anything. And I believe that I will get better, and I know I will. I'm gonna get through this. I will win, and I will live out the rest of my life. I want to travel. I want to dance. Just have fun.
Everything that we did, we knew that there was somebody behind that, and everybody that had a hand in it. I'll never be able to fully show our gratitude.
Abby's very bubbly. She's very easygoing. She loves to be fancy. She wants to do a karate move in a princess dress. Like, that's Abby. She'd been a very healthy kid, and she just started not feeling great, just under the weather. We went to the emergency room, and maybe an hour later, they told us we were going to Barbara Bush in case she needed a transfusion. We knew it was serious, and we all kind of like had an idea what it was.
Just didn't know what.
Sorry. Just nobody said the word.
Right.
So we all just sort of knew it without wanting to admit it. It was hard when she finally realized, you know, when we worked up to the fact that it was cancer, she asked us if she was going to die, which is like the worst. She was very, very sweet in some ways. Like, she told us that she wanted Santa to fix it. We said we did too. I have a friend that has a daughter that has some serious illnesses, and she had gone through Make-A-Wish. I thought it was exciting because I was like, she needs to have something good.
The limousine was most surprising because I didn't expect a limousine coming to our driveway and we get to ride in a limousine.
I don't think people realize how long it is, how long the journey is when your kid gets diagnosed. So to be able to give her something that is finally happy, it's gratitude.
a really, really fun day. There was a lot of things that we did. I don't know what my favorites. Everything's my favorite.
The role of hope has been so important for us in this journey. It gets you through, right? Like that little bit that can just push you through that you need to go to the next step. And she picked this amazing playhouse that whether if she's having a rough day, she can still enjoy, you know? It can make that rough day less rough for her, which is gonna be awesome.
The most thing I wanted was a bed so me and Lily can sleep in there together. I love the chandelier. I really thank you all for helping me go through this.
Ian is hilarious. He's one of the funniest people I know. He constantly lifts my spirits. And he's just incredibly warm to everyone. He wants everyone to be welcome.
Dad reads a lot of books. He read the Harry Potter series of it. And then he started reading them to me. I'm a really big fan of the Harry Potter series, so I really like those.
Harry Potter is like the greatest book series ever written, just because it's about having the courage to face incredibly difficult things, but knowing you don't do it on your own. Like, it depends upon friends and support networks that make the impossible possible.
He hurt himself in July of last year. We were at our playground at our school, and he jumped off a piece of playground equipment, and he said he hurt his leg. And I was there, and I'm like, okay, we'll watch it, you know, like just kind of like brush it off, like you're fine kind of thing.
And he was crying at night with pain in the leg, and so then I called Kristen and said, we've really got to make sure he gets in for a doctor's appointment. I think it's getting more serious, and let's find out if he fractured it and it's not just growing pains possibly. And so then she got in for an appointment, and she was crying and had a hard time telling me, said, I need to be ready because Dr. Russ is going to call and talk to me about the situation. Could I be in a place to talk to Dr. Russ?
So September, October, November, he had chemotherapy, and then December was his first surgery. He had a rotation-plasty, which ended up failing. And then he had his second amputation, which was mid-thigh in February. I cannot believe how brave he was through the whole thing. And he just, I don't know, he just did it. And he would get through it, and we would move on. And he wants to be back in school, and he loves being back at school, and he participates like nothing ever happened.
All the time, he's just more and more grateful that his story has worked out, that he has a prosthetic with a wonderful company, with a man who also has a prosthetic that built this leg for him and answers our questions and guides him with understanding how to use it. He knows that the network of amputees is larger than we realize.
I have been walking a lot more. We're starting to learn how to walk without anything. I still use one crutch around the house. But during physical therapy, I walk without anything, and I dribble the basketball.
Now, you see him and you wouldn't even, unless you see his leg, you wouldn't know that what he has gone through. He's such a sweet boy. Like, if you think of just a kind, he's such a gentle soul. So we were on stage and all of a sudden the music started playing and an owl came out, which was a huge surprise to the kids. The owl had a scroll and the scroll said that he was going to the Wizarding World of Harry Potter, and he was very excited. And then they said that he was going to be going the next week, which was the big surprise. Like, he thought he'd have to wait a couple months. And so he got very emotional and started crying right on stage because he was so excited. It was amazing. Like, it was nothing I would have ever imagined. Like, Make-A-Wish really knocked it out of the park. I did not plan anything, nothing. They told me where to be. A limo came and picked us up. It was so easy, which is, it's everything in our life is hard. It's different. It's hard and different because he only has one leg now, and just figuring that all out. Make-A-Wish made sure that he had a bag for his wheelchair and like how we were going to carry his leg if it was off. Make-A-Wish really made sure that we didn't have to think about anything or worry about anything. Harry Potter has been such a huge part of our life, especially during this cancer time, because we read a lot of the books during this time to see it all, and like Ian loved to see the dragon breathe the fire. And so we had to watch that many times.
When the dragon's on the bank, like from reading that, I thought that was really cool. But like seeing it and feeling it in real life was like way cooler, because like it actually breathes real fire. So huge wave of heat comes and hits everyone. Yeah, it's really cool.
The wand ceremony was amazing to watch Ian in the wand ceremony, and Universal made it so real.
We had this like whole ceremony thing. Like, we would go through the back door into the shop. She would give me multiple wands to try out, to interact with. Multiple of them failed, but then this one was the one that chose me, that I got. It's a maple wand with unicorn hair.
These wishes mean the world to these kids. Just the process of the wish, so they don't have to think about it, to the wish. Our family's so thankful. I mean, it's an experience we'll never forget, ever. We can't say thank you enough to everyone who made it possible.
It's so much more than I guess I thought it would be. I mean, it's a whole community. It's everything from the donors, the volunteers, and we've met literally a village of people that have done something for Morgan in some way. I just can't say enough about it. It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
Seeing a smile on your child's face is magic. Hearing them laugh is magic.
My wish was to have a tree house. It's warm, it's comfortable, it's a house in the trees.
Morgan originally asked for a room that would have a Hobbit theme. Through talking with her and sharing Pinterest pins and spending some time with her, I discovered that it was really more of kind of a fairy, woodland, Middle-earth themed treehouse that she was looking for.
Ooh, that's very cool.
So I really tried to focus on giving her a room that was magical and mystical, but earthy and grounded in woodland at the same time.
They asked her to select 3 trees from our land. We got home, Make-A-Wish had already set up number 3 site, number 2 site, and then when she got to number 1 site, it was already set up that it said, future site of Morgan's treehouse. She was totally surprised, which isn't easy to do with Morgan, but Make-A-Wish pulled it off.
She's a sweetheart. Morgan is just a great kid, very, very nice family. very appreciative of everything that everybody was doing. My son works for me, and I got help from a gentleman, Tom Robinson. We kind of sat down and went over roughly what we were going to do. And great to have a friend involved and my son involved. It is a great feeling to be able to do something for somebody.
When I was younger, I had headaches, so they decided to do an MRI, and then there's like a spot in my head, and they didn't know what it was.
She was diagnosed with her 2 brain tumors when she was 9.
Then we moved here, and they were like, okay, it's the last MRI if it hasn't grown anymore. And it grew.
You know, when you hear the cancer word and it's your kid, you just ask why, and then what do we do?
It's not completely clear-cut exactly what to do, as we've learned through this journey, that there's a lot of decisions that we've made and had to make that were ours to make. And doctors guided us, but they couldn't necessarily tell us what to do.
Her first treatment was chemotherapy, and it's very toxic. It's systematic, so it doesn't just affect the cancer cells, it affects every cell.
I had 2 anaphylactic allergic reactions from chemo. The chemo that I would have to sit there for like 5 hours a day. 3 or 4 days after that, I would be nauseous and just like laying on the couch, not feeling well. I would feel fine, and then I had chemo again, so it was just like this cycle.
We waited for a little bit to see if the chemo worked. It didn't. Brain tumors grew. We decided to take the smaller tumor out first. Through doctors here and in Boston, that the best course of action would be to take the other tumor out. She told me 6 months into diagnosis, I must have looked worried, because she said, Mom, I'm the one with the brain tumors. If anybody needs to worry, I'll let you know.
I heal pretty quickly. People call me the super healer.
Who's first time in a limousine?
One of the best parts of Make-A-Wish is that it allows the kid to take control during a time in their life when they really don't have much control over anything. So it's just been a positive focus all around.
While Morgan was out in her stretch limo with her family doing some fun stuff in Portland's Old Port, we were back at our treehouse doing all of the interior decorating and putting the final touches on the treehouse. So when she got home, there was still a bit of surprise involved.
There were so many different participants and volunteers.
Everybody was running around, but everybody had their own little project to do, and it came together pretty good.
Rod was there with his crew. There were additional people there to help set up. It was really a great community effort to make this little girl's wish happen.
I have 2 sisters. They're sisters. They're both older than me. They can be a pain, but for the most part, they're really nice.
Family's everything. I mean, we both come from large families, and we're close. Your family's there for you. Nothing's thicker than blood, so.
Morgan, you want to drive?
My mom was like, so no one's gonna be at our house, it's just gonna be our family. And I was like, okay, great. And then like a bunch of people were at my house, so I was like, oh my gosh. And then the TV people were here, which I didn't know until we like drove on our road.
What I want to be when I grow up is a pediatric nurse. I'm going to try to help kids as much as I can. Like me as a kid, like when I'm an adult, I want to help kids like that. My motivation was looking forward to the treehouse.
You take it as it comes, you make the best decisions you can, and keep praying that she's healed and keeps doing well, and whatever it is, we'll get through it.
She's tougher than, when I grow up, I want to be as tough as she is.
Keep on going and staying positive.